do is you can click the organizer or the entire audience button. It's going to be right beside the send. So the send's going to be to the right, and then you can change who you're speaking to specifically. So if you do have a question that you want to ask your instructor, or if you have a question that you want to ask one of your fellow classmates, if you're networking, you don't want to clutter up the chat with your conversation, you can reach out to them on an individual basis. So you do have that option as well. So here's what we're going to start with, everyone. I want you guys to tell me what you think digital literacy is all about in your own words. I don't want a dictionary definition. I don't want you to say what you think we're wanting to hear. I want your first realist answer on what you consider digital literacy to be. So take a few moments to think about that and enter your response in the chat. We're going to go through some of those and then move on from there. So I just want your input. What do you guys understand digital literacy to be? So Charles is saying that it's finesse with your diction on social media and platforms. Absolutely. So Everett says that it's understanding the importance of your online identity. These are both really good points to start with. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Anybody else? Okay, Charles Lee is saying that as far as being tolerant and having knowledge of your digital platforms, and it's Mary Lou says that it's your online identity. So we're still hitting those same points. So Alexis says that it's digital literacy is the importance of knowing how to use your online platforms. Yes. Liana is saying that digital literacy is the ability to use technology to write, research, connect, learn, and share using digital platforms. You guys are killing it right now. Laquan is saying that it's being able to use technology fluently. Natasha says that it's your understanding of your online presence. Latoya says that it's understanding technology and its platforms. Yes, you guys are absolutely nailing it. It's Stephen, it's also about networking. Ryan says that it's the way you interact with people and being able to connect with them. Digital impressions. So the use of technology for communication in all areas. Oh yeah, okay, so you guys are absolutely nailing this definition. So let's go ahead and move ahead. So what digital literacy is that it is everything that you guys have just spoken about. It's knowing and learning your software. It's becoming internet savvy. It's conducting proper research and excellent communication practices and creating an online professional presence. So these basic concepts that I just summarized right here is essentially everything that you guys hit on in chat. So you guys should pat yourselves on the back because you're nailing exactly what your expectations are for this course based on your understanding of what digital literacy is. So you're already one step ahead of the game in terms of your fluency of what we're asking for you to deliver. This is great. Absolutely wonderful job, squad. All right, so here is some important information that you guys just want to keep in mind throughout not only digital literacy, but through your courses throughout your time here at LA Film School. You want to check your email at least twice a day. So if you receive any correspondence from us as your instructors, as your student advisors, as any sort of communication with you, is going to start via email. We may call you initially sometimes if we're just checking in on you, or if you need to reach out to us, or if you left us a voicemail. But 9 times out of 10, you're going to get an email from us, and that's going to be the way that we're going to initiate that back and forth communication. And if we need to move to the phone, we can do that. So it's important to keep track of your email, even if you don't get one on a day-to-day basis. Just check it. You never know when we're trying to reach out to you. So Ms. Beeman is asking, what if we have been able to access our student email? You want to contact online support, and if you can hold on until the end of the session tonight, I can provide that information for you. And actually, you know what? Since I think I can do it right here. If you guys don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and answer her question right here. So we're going to hit the brakes for a second, and let's get that online support information. And that's for everybody, of course. And if you have any sort of concerns like this, you should go ahead and contact any online support. So that goes for everyone since that's in the chat, but that's also for Miss Beeman there. If you have any sort of concerns about not being able to access the platform, if you can't access your email, give online support a call. Send them an email with your Gmail or your Yahoo account, and they will fix those concerns for you. So that's in the chat box for everybody, just in case you haven't seen that information yet. So again, check your email if you have access to it. If you don't, go ahead and reach out to online support and we'll get you right as rain. All right, so when we provide you feedback on your discussion posts and your assignments, your instructor comments from myself, from Jeremiah, from Jonathan, we're not here to fail you. We're not here to mark all of your small grammar incorrections, your punctuation incorrections. We're not trying to see you fail. We want the opposite. We want to see you succeed, and we're here to see you succeed. We are the front line of your success here in digital literacy, and that's going to fall to the same. It's going to be the same for all of your instructors here at LA Film School. So if you have any core questions about your assignments, about your discussions, about the learning management system platform, if you have a question about not understanding a portion of your assignment and you need clarification, that's what we're here for. We're not just here to babysit. We're not just here to kind of hang out. We're here to interact with you and make sure that you're having the most optimum positive experience that you can and that you're learning all the material that we need so that you're delivering the products and the results that we're asking for so you can get those A's that you want. Yeah, Ryan and I had a conversation earlier, and he had a couple of questions. I was more than happy to answer them on the phone. So we've already created that conversation and that rapport. So if he has any questions in the future, he's got that encouragement and that confidence that he can reach out to me and I'll help him. So yeah, we're here for all of you, not individuals, all of you. So if you have any concerns, we're your front line to make sure that you have clarification on those and that you have the best time you can in our class. Also, like Ms. Beeman earlier said, she had a little bit of a concern with her email, but not being able to access it. Be sure to contact support for any technical issues. And if you want to see that information that I left in the chat box earlier, how to get support, that's going to be under the Getting Started tab here, right here, how to get support. So you're going to click on that, and that's going to give you the information that you need to reach out and get that help. Okay, so when you were working on your discussions throughout the week and when you're working on your assignment throughout the week and you take a look at the instructions, make sure that you read them very thoroughly because they have 100% of the information that you need to know for what we, your instructors, are looking for. So your discussions, for example, all of your initial discussion posts are going to be due Wednesday night. So today's Tuesday, so we've got another night to work on it. But your responses are going to be due this coming Sunday night of each week. So you've got two different due dates for one assignment, or one activity rather. It's going to be Wednesday night at 11:59 Pacific time and Sunday night at 11:59 Pacific time. And we have that delay there just because we do get busy throughout the week. We've got our kids to take care of, we've got work to take care of, we've got chores to take care of. It's not easy to sit down every single day and think of a response or a discussion post. So we want to allow everyone to have that little bit of time. So we don't ask for the discussion post at the beginning of the week. We give you until Wednesday, so you've got that little block of time to think about the topics and what you want to say. And we give you until Sunday because life gets busy for everyone. Not everyone has the time to sit down and do their initial discussion post, especially for the response post. So we want to give that little bit of grace period to allow everybody to get their response post in on time, take care of their assignment, and take care of their quiz. Everything's due at the same time, but we want to give you that leeway to kind of accomplish it at your own pace. So we do want you to try to visit the discussion boards each day and keep the posts that you do create for your activities constructive. And we do want them to be detailed. So don't just say good job. Don't just say I really liked what you had to say there. Point to individual things that people are saying that you really enjoy and ask questions about it because I've already seen some networking opportunities in chat tonight. You never know where your next connection can come from, even in a discussion post. So Stephen is asking, do you have to respond to all in the chat? I'm assuming you're talking about the discussion boards. You only have to reply to one person. So you can reply to as many people as you want to. You can have a conversation with as many people as you want to, but you only have to respond to one. So think of it as a room full of people. You don't have to talk to everybody. You can find a couple of people that you want to talk to, and that can create a dialogue and a conversation where you get to know each other better. And that's what we're trying to create with this initial discussion post. We're going to go into detail about that a little bit later, but right now, I want to focus on the rubrics. So these are going to be really important for you guys to check out when you're looking at the instructions for each assignment and for each discussion post, because this is going to give you a roadmap for what our expectations are going to be as your instructors. So if you want to know exactly what we want to see, if you want to get an A plus and you want to know what the requirements are to get an A plus, it's all going to be in this leftmost column here. So you're going to see exceptional, proficient, needs improvement, not college level. So you've got 4 different categories based on the performance level. If you want to see the absolute optimum performance level, it's going to be over here on this left-hand side, and that's going to be for each category. So what you can do is when you're working on your assignments, use the rubric as a checklist. So Natasha says that she's in Texas, so her time is 1:59, so it will be Thursday. It will be late. Natasha, and this goes for everyone, please, please, please do not wait till the very last minute to submit your work. Because time and time again, maybe your internet goes out, maybe you're not able to upload on time, maybe there's an error and you're not able to upload or you're not able to submit. You want to give give yourself a little bit of a grace period, a couple of hours before that due date on Sunday to get everything turned in. Please, please, please don't wait till the very last second. So again, it is due at 11:59 Pacific time, but do not wait until 11:50 to upload your work, whatever the equivalent time will be for you in your time zone. Again, I just want to reiterate that. But again, the rubrics should serve as a checklist for you to so you can outline exactly what we're asking for in terms of your expectations and whether or not you've met those expectations. So for every instruction sheet, for every discussion post we ask you to create, we do have a rubric that outlines everything that we're using when we give you feedback. So based on this, you can kind of have a good idea of where your assignment is going to fall if you kind of follow these instructions here in terms of the checklist here. All right, so here, how to succeed in digital literacy? We've talked a little bit about that in terms of reaching out via email and checking your email and making sure that you thoroughly read your instruction sheets and that you use the rubric as a type of checklist. What are some other things that we can focus on? So you want to think about starting your assignments early and your research early for your discussion post, just to make sure that you're creating constructive content that's thoughtful and is going to get you that score that you're looking for. And if you look under the FAQs under the class resources page, you will find some extra information there that will help you out. I'm going to go ahead and show you what that looks like. So let's go ahead into the class resources page. And we've got here the syllabus. So if you need to reach out to me and you need to know my schedule, you have that available to you. And we also have the course at a glance. So you can kind of see what's due and how the structure is going to be followed from week to week. So this gives you a really good idea of what's the breakdown for week 1. What am I expected to accomplish for week 1? What's going to be due and when is it due? And this follows for week 2, week 3, and week 4. So if you use this course at a glance sheet, this is your roadmap for the entire month. So you don't have to second guess or think about where anything is going to fall. You always know. And you can set a routine for yourself from week to week to be able to give yourself plenty of time to create a really good discussion post, create a really good response post to another student, and to make sure that your assignment is fulfilling all the requirements that we're looking for, and you're not rushing through and delivering a product that is not as good as you could have if you had more time. So think about making sure that you're able to manage your time in a really constructive way. So that's going to also involve late assignments. So late assignments may be submitted up to 3 days late unless there's an emergency. And I'm going to stop right here. So this is where email comes into play. If you foresee yourself not being able to turn your work in on time, email us immediately. It can be a single sentence. It can just be, hi, my name is X. This is my student number. I can't turn in my work on time because of this reason. You don't even have to be detailed about your reason, We're not asking about your business. We just want to know, we want you to reach out to let us know that if there's going to be some sort of delay, that there's a record of it and we can account for that in the feedback process. Because if you don't respond to us and we don't get that response, it's harder for us to work with you. Let's just let's just say that it's harder for us to work with you. So definitely keep that line of communication open. Don't feel shy. Just reach out to us if you feel like, hey, I'm sick. I don't feel really well. I can't open my computer. I can't work. I have a migraine. My work is going to be late. Is that okay? And we're going to be able to work with you. As long as you throw that line of communication out, we can work with you. Now, if your work is late and you say you turn it in on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, there is going to be a 10% deduction levied against you. So if you turn in your work on Monday, the max score you can get is a 90. If you turn it in on Tuesday, the max score you can get, if everything's perfect, is an 80, and so on. So it behooves you, if you're under the circumstances where you have to turn your work in late, do it on Monday. That's as late as you want to go. But again, reach out to your instructor. Let us know well ahead of time. As soon as you even have an idea that this might be a problem, let us know. Because if you turn it in on time, there's no issue. There's no reason for us to follow up. But if it is late, we know why. I hope that helps. All right. And one more thing. Keep a positive attitude and an open mind during your time in digital literacy. For some of you, a lot of this material might be review. You might know how to do exactly everything that we see here, and you might kind of be like, when am I going to get to the good stuff? This is foundational material that's going to carry you through your entire time at LA Film School. So think of each of these assignments as an opportunity to explore and exercise your chosen degree program. So if you're a film major, make all of your digital literacy assignments kind of tilt towards the film industry. If you're a music production artist like Ryan, maybe all of your assignments and focus go towards the music production industry. So your first assignment is about a music producer and his digital footprint and how you might want to emulate his success and his career trajectory. And that can also apply for week two's assignment and week three's assignment and week four. We don't dictate the exact thing that you guys do for each of your assignments. We allow you to focus on your degree program and bring in those areas of focus so that you can create that connection and that deeper understanding of your industry that'll just serve you better as you go throughout your courses. And especially your core courses when you're really working on your degree program stuff. So think of the digital literacy course as a focal point for your degree program. Here's where you can gather all your resources about the things that you're interested in and execute on those. So this is an opportunity for you to try that out. And again, if you have any questions as you're working throughout the month, if you're not sure that, hey, I want to try something new here, I don't know if this would work, is it okay if I give this a shot? Reach out to your instructor. We'll let you know whether or not that's okay. If we have plenty of time to work on it and you're comfortable and we know that you can handle it, try something new. Have a little bit of fun. Try something way creative and outside of your comfort zone. And if we do appreciate creativity and we acknowledge creativity. So definitely try to have fun with your assignments and tailor them towards your degree program because, again, this is a focal point. And you can carry the foundational things that you create in this course throughout the rest of your career here. All right. Your knowledge quizzes are going to be another thing that's going to be due this coming Sunday, but they are open book and they're based on the read and view activity. So if I go back to our class page here and I want to see some of the information from the quiz as I'm taking it, you can go through the read and view activity here. You can review some of the information and concepts that we're covering in your discussion posts. Some of the concepts in the digital footprints exercise is going to be in there too. So think of all the things that you're covering in week one. Those are going to show up in your quiz for week one as well. And it is open book. So you can use the read and view activity. You can use some of the concepts that we've covered otherwise in week one to answer those questions. But keep in mind, it is open book, but you can only take it once. So once you answer that final answer and you hit submit, that's it. You can't resubmit it. You can't retake it. It's automatically graded. Jonathan, Jeremiah, and I do not go in and individually grade the quizzes. They're automatically graded. So the grade you get is the grade you get. So I want to reiterate, they are open book. You can use outside material to take and understand and answer your quizzes, but you can only take them once. So when you're ready to hit that submit button, Double and triple check your answers. Make sure they are exactly what you want, because you only get one chance. And those are also due Sunday night at 11:59 Pacific time. And these can fall under that extension clause if, for whatever reason, you can't turn in your assignment, and that also means that you're not able to take your quiz in time. Again, just send us an email letting us know that, hey, this might be happening. I just want to let you know ahead of time. I've got this coming up. I might be late. And if it turns out you're okay and you're not late, good. We're good. But again, if it does turn out you're late, we do have a paper trail and we understand why, and we can help you get back on track. So again, that communication needs to stay open. Now, for the go-to training sessions, the session we're in right now, they are once a week. Most of the time at Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But if you can't make it to the live session, we do have archived recordings that will be available. So if you go to the main page here and under week 1, were you guys, the 30 of you, the 27 of you that are in here, when you registered for the course, we did it right here, right? Now, you're going to be able to view the video for the session we're in right now that I'm talking about right here in view video. So what we're going to be doing as your instructors is we're going to be uploading this video to YouTube and providing a link that's going to be placed under here. So if you have any questions and it's late at night, you know we're not going to answer an email, you know you can't call us, you can come back to the video, review all the information that we're going over right now. You can skip around in the video too and find the information you need, and hopefully those will answer your questions. The live sessions are allowing you to interact with us in real time. So if you have any questions as we're going through it, you can ask them. But again, this will be available for you guys to review. This is not something you have to kind of memorize as we're going through it. You will have a copy to go back and refer to. All right, now there is an exception to this rule. I wanted to make sure that there is a note of that just so that it's in your mind. For the week 3 go-to training session, it's going to be much earlier in the day. It's going to be 1:30 Pacific time to 2:30 Pacific time. Or if you're East Coast, 4:30 p.m. Eastern time to 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. So do keep in mind for week 3, and we will be reminding you in week 2 that that's going to come to pass. And here's a link that I have for you guys. I'm going to make sure that we copy this and paste it in the chat box. This is a website, an article that has a couple of different tips to help you succeed in an online program if you've never taken an online course before. So one of the things you want to keep in mind is time management. So we're all busy. We wouldn't be in an online course if we didn't have a busy life at home. We want to make sure that we have the time to kind of sit down at our own pace to go through the material and to work through it at a leisurely kind of stroll rather than rushing through everything because we've got to be a million different places. So time management is going to be one of those keys. Since you do have kind of an open-ended schedule for when your work is going to be turned in at the end of the week, it's easy to kind of wait till the very last minute to kind of do all that and rush. So you do want to manage your time. Go through your assignments early on in the week, ask the questions as you have them throughout the week, and pace yourself and work on your discussion a little bit, work on your assignment a little bit, maybe dedicate an hour or two just for your quiz so you can take that and have that be done with. So think of how you can manage your time so that you have a comfortable lead on your work and you're not rushing to complete it on time. And that's going to involve balancing your personal obligations. So some of you may have children, some of you may have loved ones that you're living with that you're taking care of, some of you have families at home. So it's not easy to kind of get away from all that to concentrate on your work. So you're going to want to make sure that you have the ability to kind of take care of yourself and to set aside that time in your busy schedule to make sure that you can concentrate in your best space to be able to accomplish the work that you want to get that A that we're all looking for. So that's going to also involve a good study environment. So some of us prefer to have music. Some of us prefer silence. Some of us like to have a fan going on in the background. Some of us like to have people in the room with us while we're working to have a conversation with. Helps the time go by a little bit faster. Whatever environment works for you, you want to make sure that you can create that for yourself for not only digital literacy, but throughout the courses that you're going to be going through at LA Film. Always have that optimum study environment so you have the ability to create your best work every single time. And again, I've been harping on this the entire session for the past 27 minutes. Ask questions if you have them. Ask questions if you have them. Ask questions if you have them. Whether it's a basic question about whether or not we need to turn it in on a specific day, or a specific question about the inner workings of the assignment or the discussion. Make sure that you're very clear, you're very specific, but don't be afraid to reach out to us. So Walter is asking, are we allowed to use our mobile device to complete our assignments? And if so, is there a specific app to use? Walter, we want to use a computer to complete these assignments. You will want to reach out to your student advisor as soon as you can. So send them an email or call them in the morning to let them know what your situation is, and we can see if we can get you sorted out. Because using a mobile phone to work on your assignments is theoretically possible, but you really don't want to do that to yourself. So we definitely want to kind of get you set up with a computer. Right? Yeah, it's a little risky, Charles. I agree. It is a little risky. You can do it, but you definitely. If you have a computer, I would not consider using your mobile device to complete any of your assignments. It's just going to be a little bit more clumsy in terms of interacting with the learning management system and getting things submitted. We've had a lot of issues in the past where people have attempted to submit their work via their phone, but the upload didn't go through, and there were just all sorts of issues that came up. Yeah, Charles, you are correct. There is a bit of a wait period before you receive your official formal computer package. But if you do have access to a computer, we do highly encourage you to use it to complete your work. But if that is something that's a little bit tough for you to come across, some of you might have that as a situation. Make sure that you reach out to your student advisor to make sure that you do make them aware of that, and we can begin a process to sort that out. So we have a question here. What is due by Wednesday? The assignment, knowledge quiz, or both? Both. The discussion that we have not gone to just yet is going to be due Wednesday night at 11:59. The assignment and the knowledge quiz and the response post to the initial discussion post are due Sunday. Wednesday, your discussion post is due. Sunday, everything else is due. And you've got in between to work on it. And the last one here is, before we move on, is that you get what you give. So the effort that you put into the course, the fact that you guys are here in this section or in this session right now, the fact that you're interacting in chat and asking questions live while we're here, that's really good. You guys are taking advantage and taking initiative in your education, and you are giving yourself and getting in return this information and this assistance. So if you're able to put forth that effort and you reach out to us and you respond to us and you communicate with us, we are going to bend over backwards to make sure that you have the best time and the best quality of education possible. So you get what you give, 100%. And that goes for everything. All right, so your student advisors can help out with anything related to the LA Film School, not just assistance with your class and your digital literacy course. Online support can help you with any sort of technical issues that you might have in terms of maybe your email or logging into the course. And if you have any course-specific problems, you can come straight to us. Okay, so there's a couple of different avenues to get help, but make sure that you utilize them specifically for what you're looking for. Otherwise, they're going to refer you to us, and you could have just come to us in the beginning. So Alexis is saying that, so basically we have to complete the discussion board Wednesday and then submit it Sunday. Yes and no. Alexis, you're submitting your first discussion post on Wednesday night, and your second one, which is a response to someone else's first discussion post, on Sunday. You submit twice, but one is due Wednesday, one is due Sunday. All right, cool, no problem. It's weird to get used to, but once you get into the rhythm of completing this first week, and you see how everything goes for the first week, and that it doesn't change from week to week, you can get that rhythm started. All right, and again, keep a positive and open mind. If this material is all familiar to you, make sure that you kind of think about how you can tailor it towards your specific industry to make sure that you're having fun with it and that it's relevant for you. And again, we're not here to fail you. We want to see you succeed. So utilize us as tools to succeed, and ask us questions and reach out when you do have those concerns. And contact technical support for any issues that you might encounter. Okay, so let's go ahead and go over the discussion. This might answer your question, Miss Beeman. So let's go ahead and go over this. Right here. All right. So now we're going to go over your very first discussion post. So again, most every week in your courses throughout your LA Film School career, there will be a graded discussion post that you will be expected to post on. And we're going to have specific topics that we want you to explore and reflect on it during your time here to kind of create a conversation where you're going over the different topics available to you that week. So think of this as not only a space for you to create those initial conversations, but think of them as dialogues um, and networking opportunities for you to kind of meet someone you would have otherwise never met before, doing something that you both are in the same industry, you're both in the same degree program, but you otherwise would have never met this person. Like we did earlier in chat, there were a couple of connections being made. So not only can we do it here live, we can also do it in the discussion post. So take the opportunity to just take it to the next level when you reach out to people with both your initial post and your response, and you never know what kind of feedback or response you might get from that initiation. So for this week's discussion post, you want to address some of the following questions. Now, we want you to pick the ones that inspire you the most, because there's a lot here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We almost got 8 different responses or different topics here that you can choose from. Now, some of you may write an entire wall of book for your initial discussion post. Some of you may just write a couple of sentences or a paragraph for your discussion post. We want you to kind of find your range with this initial one. So we want you to answer the questions here on whichever one you want. You can choose 1, you can choose 2, you can choose 3. Pick as many as you want and pick the ones you want and respond to the questions. And I'm going to go over those right now. So of the topics available to you, here's the first one. So is there anything that you're already doing to establish your digital footprint or online identity? What are the goals that you've driven you to begin your degree program? That's number 2. Number 3 is how important is it for you to graduate from this degree program and why? Number 4 is how are you stay motivated during the weeks that you're very busy, have heavy work or family demands, and just don't feel too well? How are you going to work through that? Now, number 5 is do you have any industry experience? And if so, tell us about it. Now, this is what I'm talking about earlier when you can make those networking connections. One of your classmates in here might be involved in the industry right now. And this is an opportunity for you to maybe meet that person if they out themselves, so to speak. I hope they do. I hope they talk about their experiences. And this is just an initiating point for those sort of networking opportunities. Right now, you're not exactly sure who you're going to run into in this course. This is your chance to find out. Number 6 is how do you learn best? What are your greatest challenges with learning, if any, and what strategies do you plan to utilize to overcome these challenges as they come? And what do you think will be the hardest part of completing your degree program? And how do you plan to overcome these particular challenges? And what is your plan? And why is it important for you to complete your degree program? And the last one that we have here is what are some things that you would like to know about your classmates? So again, whichever one of these inspire you, we want you to answer it, whether it's 2, whether it's 3, whether it's 4 of them. Write as much as you feel comfortable. We don't have a maximum length on your discussion posts, but don't make them too long because you're going to kind of scare people off. They might only respond to part of your discussion post instead of the whole thing. But we do have a minimum length. We don't want to see 3 or 4 sentences, or 2 or 3 sentences, I should say. 4 is on that border right there. 4 to 5 to 6 is going to put you in a happy place. But if you do more and you're more detailed, you're going to guarantee yourself that full score when we're looking at the rubric and assessing your work. So again, as you're working through your discussion post, check on this rubric right here. We spoke about it a little bit earlier. So this is going to be your checklist to make sure that you're falling in this leftmost category and you're getting that maximum score possible. So let's just go over the very first one here, which is called thoroughness and quality. So the topic is understood in depth and convincingly addressed. All information is presented in a clear, thorough, creative, and well supported with several relevant facts, statistics, and or examples. All posts are courteous, respectful, and professional. That doesn't sound very hard to do. Does that sound very difficult, y'all? Nah, you guys can knock that out of the park. That's just one requirement. This is, again, a checklist that you guys can use to make sure that you're really nailing those requirements. And here are those requirements right here. Let's go ahead and move this over. There we go. So your initial post, again, is due Wednesday night at 11:59 Pacific time. Your second post, number 2, is due by Sunday night. In your second post, you want to make sure that you comment and discuss other people's initial posts in a discussion style. So don't just say, like, if you're in a conversation with someone in a room with them and they're looking at you and they give you a really thoughtful conversation, like they just answer a question really, really well. They give you a long, beautiful story. It's heartfelt. And you look at them and you say, I really like what you just said there. Great job. What do you think the response is going to be? Really? That's all you have to say? So you want to treat this as an actual face-to-face conversation. Don't just say good job. Don't just say I like that post. Make sure that you have a detailed and thorough and meaty response that really addresses the discussion post. Don't create this as just an obligation so you can get your grade. Don't do that. You're selling yourself short if you do that. You don't know who these people are just yet. And if you find someone that says, oh man, I really like their passion, make sure that you tap into that because you never know what they can help you out with. You never know how you guys can collaborate or help each other. This is an opportunity. Take it. Everett, it is okay to attach images to the discussion posts. So just make sure that your discussion images, any images that you upload are appropriate and work safe. Use your common sense about that. All right, so that is the discussion. And are there any questions about that before I move on? We're coming into the last 20 minutes of our session here, and I want to make sure that we do have enough time to go over the assignment. So do you have any questions so far? Alrighty, so let's go ahead and move into the Detecting Digital Footprints assignment here. All right, so this is going to be the assignment that you're working on for the remainder of the week. So what you're going to be doing in terms of your objectives, overall objectives, is conducting research using the internet, analyzing the digital footprint of an industry professional, and we're going to kind of talk about a digital footprint, and evaluate the strengths and weaknesses of their digital online footprint, and summarize the information using a variety of digital technologies. Now, if you've never heard of a digital footprint, you probably have, you just didn't know what the term was it for. Think of any question or think of any presence that you have on the web. If you have a Facebook, if you've got a Twitter, if you've got an Instagram, or if you have a Pinterest, if you've got a Steam account, if you have an Xbox Live account, if you've got a PlayStation account, if you have any sort of presence on the web, you've got a digital footprint. That's what it means. So what we're going to be doing is creating a digital dossier or a file on a person in your industry. Now, this can be a music industry professional, this can be a film professional, this can be a graphic designer, this can be a computer animator, this can be a sculptor, this can be anyone in your entertainment related field. And what we want to do is we want to create a snapshot of how they're portrayed on the web in general and use that information to kind of inform how we can cultivate our presence on the web. So your detective assignment is to investigate the digital footprint of a selected entertainment industry professional. Now, this person is a person of your choosing. So again, choose someone that you want to learn like as much as you can about them. Now, we've had people ask in the past, can I choose someone who's not living anymore? If they have a digital footprint and they have a presence on the web, that's not a problem. But if they say died in the 1990s before the web really kind of took off, it's going to be very tough to find anything that's not just historical information about that person. So definitely think of someone who's been very active or popular or influential in the last 10 to 5 years is going to be a window. I don't mean to put restrictions on you guys. I just want to make sure that you're able to find the material that we're looking for. Steven is asking, how about someone coming up? If someone is gaining clout, if someone is gaining that reputation, absolutely. If they've got a web presence and they're actively promoting themselves and they're not some superstar like Kid Cudi, that's completely fine. They don't have to be famous, super famous. They can still just be related, involved in the industry, but just have a web presence. The first and most important criteria is that they have a digital footprint. Whether or not they're famous is completely inconsequential. The second most important thing, that it's related to an industry that you're going into, because you don't want to research someone who's not really relevant to you, right? Unless it's someone you know or it's someone you're a fan of, that's okay too. But we do want to make sure that you think about that focus. Okay, so finally, after you've completed your digital dossier of this industry professional that you choose, you want to consider how the lessons that you've learned during this process, and the other activities that you're working on, including your discussion post, might help you manage your own digital footprint to create a positive personal brand for yourself online. So this is about cultivating how we appear online as a professional and as a person. So that's going to be your personal brand. We could go into that, but we're running out of time, and I want to make sure that we have all the information, crucial information that you need tonight. But you do want to think about the way you portray yourself online, both as a person and your value system and what you believe in and what you'll endorse, and your professional. This is what I'm really good at. Please pay me. Please pay me. There's a definite balance you want to strike. Okay, so here's how we're going to be preparing for this first assignment, right? So what you're going to be doing, the very first thing you're going to be doing, and I'm going to go ahead and open a little document here so we can kind of follow along, is you're going to select an entertainment industry professional in your chosen field who you're interested in learning more about, or someone whose career success that you want to emulate. So since I saw Jay Electronica, that's going to be the example I'm using. Thank you, Stephen. I appreciate that. Jay Electronica is the industry professional that I want to focus on for my digital dossier. So we want to think about business professionals in the film, television, music, gaming, or other industries. And here's something really important. Avoid selecting a celebrity who is primarily famous for being a star rather than a business person. So think about people who are socialites, people who hang out among other famous people who actually do things, but you guys know what I'm talking about. I don't have to belabor the point. Make sure that you're choosing industry professionals who are active in their field, they are in a production role, and they are making things, and that they have influence because they make things, not because they're rich. There's a distinction to be made. Tyler Perry is perfectly okay, Alexis. He is a producer, he's a film director, he has a huge digital footprint, completely fine. So what we want you to do is, since we've selected Jay Electronica as our industry professional, what are we going to do now? So what we're going to do now is we're going to conduct a web search using Google or whatever other platform you want to use of this person's digital footprint. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take Jay Electronica and we're going to put him in Google, and what are we going to find? So we've got his Wikipedia page, right? We have the SoundCloud page. We have his Twitter page. We have his Rock Nation page. There's probably a Facebook page or two that we can use as well. So if I open Wikipedia, SoundCloud, Twitter, and Rock Nation, I now have 4 different avenues that I can use in order to establish what his digital footprint can be. So we've got information in here. We've got information in here that we can go ahead and check out, maybe his music, some of his releases that we can go through and say, oh, okay, so his body of work goes back this far. Here's some of his older stuff that I can compare to the new stuff. Here's his Twitter that he's got, so you can check that out as well. So definitely use all of these in conjunction to create your digital dossier. So we've used his Twitter, his Facebook page, his Instagram, his home website, and that's going to be what we use to create this digital profile. Okay, so again, you're not limited to the ones that I've talked about. You can use LinkedIn, Instagram, Tumblr, any other social media website works. You can also use blog posts about this person, websites about this person, even videos on YouTube about Jay Electronica. Like say he gave an interview, a video interview, and you want to use that as part of your digital footprint dossier, you certainly can. Just include a link to the video so we can check it out. You can also use Vine, rest in peace, or any other media about this industry professional, that counts for their digital footprint. So take screenshots, collect those links. All of that documentation needs to go into your file so that we can click on it, verify it, so that we know where you're getting the information when you're answering these questions. So Stephen is asking, if you know the person personally, is it okay to make a footprint dossier? Like I said earlier, the priority is whether or not they have a digital footprint at all. If they're related in your industry field, they're producing work, and they have an online presence, yes, that's completely fine. If they don't have any of those things, and it's hard to find the research and it's hard to answer the questions, you want to maybe have a backup plan of maybe one or two other people that my first one didn't work out, let me try number two. Number two doesn't have enough either, let me try number three. So you're not stuck into a corner trying to write an assignment that really doesn't have enough information for you to complete it. That's what we want to make sure that we're avoiding, Stephen. So yes, you can do that if there's an online presence and you're able to answer all the questions. So before you get too involved in your assignment, do that research ahead of time. Make sure there's enough material for you to work with, and then you can start working on your assignment. I hope that answers your question. Okay, so that's how we're preparing for this. What are we actually going to do? Okay, let's go ahead and bring up our little document here. So for part one, here's what we're going to be doing for part one of our assignment. We're going to be reporting the findings of our investigation. So how does this person's digital footprint represent them as a business professional? That's one question you can answer. Is the image presented positive or negative for their career and personal brand, and are there any exceptions? And by exceptions, think of a certain industry, a musician who assaulted another certain industry musician, but it still has a career, still gets those opportunities, still is able to perform at award shows. Sometimes your behavior in real life, even if people know about it online, may or may not affect your career prospects. That's going to depend. Sometimes you might notice that, sometimes it's not self-evident. That can also be part of their digital footprint. It doesn't just have to be good. It can also be material that's bad. So if they're misbehaving and it's public, you can include that in part of your evaluation. Hey, this industry professional has a really good body of work, but sometimes they can't keep their mouth shut when they should about certain topics, and that kind of damages their professional reputation, right? So that's something that you also want to account for. Now, what might a potential hiring manager or business partner be impressed with, and what might cause someone to discount this person as a potential business partner? And explain your findings. So we want you to give examples to illustrate your opinions. Industry professional X would be a great person to work with for reason A, B, and C. I would work for them for reason E, F, and G, right? Or industry professional B is not good to work with because for reason A, B, and C. He's not very professional because of reason X, and I wouldn't work with him because of that. So Ryan is asking, we need to talk about and try to, oh, he's just talking to someone. Okay, I thought you had a question. But yes, so we want you to answer these questions in paragraph form for each one and provide evidence as to why you believe what you believe. No, Ryan, you're good. It's my bad. I was reading and I didn't know if it was a question or not. You're okay. All right, so that's part one, right? So you're going to go through, answer those questions after you've gathered all of your information. Now, part two, this is about you. Part two is about you. So let's go ahead and put that in our document as well. This is about your industry professional. I got to move that box because that's it. There we go. And part two, this is about you and your digital footprint and what you want to create in terms of your presence on the web and your personal brand. So consider this. Part one is about you. You're going to include screenshots, or part one is about your industry professional. You're going to include screenshots, links, answers to, oh, if I could spell, that'd be great. That's part one. Part two, this is going to be about you and your personal brand and digital footprint. Just want to make sure that we have a basic understanding of what we're looking for. So Ryan has another question. So you want to give some of the info about the artist that we choose from the standpoint of the person looking to hire them. Yes, Ryan. So think of someone that you would want to collaborate with. Think of someone that you might want to hire. Does their does their reputation online create confidence in you and to be able to do that? It is kind of like A&R, Charles. It kind of is. So just thinking about, okay, if I were to evaluate this person based on their online reputation, yeah, I'd work with them. Or no, I would not because that would harm me professionally. What if I got associated with him and our values don't match up and my reputation is affected because of that? Those are the things you want to start thinking about. It's a lot of nuance there and it's a lot of consideration. So we want to start you guys on that path so you can understand I got to start thinking about this now on a very basic level so that when you get to the end of your degree program and you've got a big body of work to work from, hopefully by then you've got a really solid understanding of what your personal brand is and you can hit the ground running when you graduate. So for part two, consider the role of digital footprints in your professional life. Now, if you don't have a professional life yet, tonight you're starting, right? You're starting tonight. So what have you learned in this week's activities, including this exercise? And we want you to determine the steps that you can take to manage your own digital footprint to create an image that will present you positively and professionally online. So we want you to describe this digital footprint or online brand you wish to portray, and we want you to list the steps that you are going to use to achieve this goal. So think about the brand you want to create and tell us that. And then list the steps that you're going to take to achieve this goal and kind of go into detail there. Now, for the steps, you can just include a list. You can include 1, 2, 3, 4, a bulleted list, whatever is more comfortable for you. But make sure that you do outline a process that you're going to implement in order to create a digital footprint for yourself. And again, don't do this just for a grade. Don't do it just because you have to. Think about what you honestly consider realistically what you can do and just tell us. Like that's all we're asking for. There's no specific right or wrong answer. What you think you can do to be effective is what we want to hear. All right, so here's the submission process. You can use the format of your choice to present your findings and conclusions as long as you explain fully and clearly and include visual examples to illustrate your points. So you can use Microsoft Word, you can use PowerPoint, you can create a video with audio, you can create a video with text. Make sure that you ask us if you want to use those formats just in case you have any questions about exactly how do I present this. If I do everything verbally, is that going to count? If I don't include, yeah. So if you have any questions about a video format, if that's the fancy version you want to do, or if that's the effort you want to go through, you do have that option available to you. But most students stick to PowerPoint or Keynote or Microsoft Word or Pages, those basic programs. Now, if you would like to suggest a different format, contact your instructor ahead of time. Don't just use the format and then submit it and then we're not able to open it or use it. Contact us saying, hey, there's this program I want to use to create my assignment. I'm really good with it. Will you be able to open this file type? Yes or no? And then we'll give you a response based on that. So don't surprise us with a file type that you think we might be able to use and can't open, because that has happened in the past. So definitely reach out to us ahead of time. So if you include references to cite, if you cite any references, like if you cite Google or if you're using a Twitter or a Facebook page, make sure that you include those URLs, those addresses. So just copy from the address bar like you would up here and put those in your document as well. And here's some of the final requirements that we're looking for. So let's go ahead and move this down. For your final submission that you guys are going to be submitting on Sunday, you want to include a couple of things. You want to include your name. So for me, it's going to be Justin Hardy. You want to include your student number. For me, it's going to be 000000. And then you also want to do two more things. And these are going to be really important because they do affect your score from week to week. When I save this, we're going to save this under the last name, Hardy, underscore first name, Justin, and then we're going to label this based on the assignment name. Now, you can call it digital footprint, or you can just use assignment A for assignment 1 and then A1. That can be what you use for every week. A1, A2, A3, A4. That's fine. Or if you want to type in digital footprints Look how much more effort that takes, right? So whatever format works for you, as long as your first name, last name, and the name of the assignment, the identifier for the assignment is in the file name, you're going to be good to go. Now, what you also want to keep in track of is, notice that my file's here on the desktop. I made it easy for us. You want to compress that file. Take care, Jeff. If you have any questions about what we're talking about right now, just go back and review the video, or you can just contact your instructor and we'll help you out. So again, this is what you want to do. You want to make sure that you compress your document so that you're uploading a zip file. Now, if you don't know how to do that on a Mac or a PC, we do have information about how to take care of that. And that is going to be available under the Getting Started tab at the top. And that's going to be under Class Resources. There's videos and guides that show you how to, I'm going to go ahead and just preview it for you. We got a couple of minutes remaining. So how to take a screenshot on Mac and PC, how to compress a file on a Mac and PC. If you don't know how to do either one of these things, this resource is going to help you out because we do ask you to implement these things for your very first assignment. Okay, so that is everything. Your first name, your whole name, your student number, the information about your digital dossier on your industry professional. Part 2, the digital footprint that you want to create and the steps you're going to take to create it. You've got your nice file name up here where it's labeled both your name and the assignment name. And we've got our compressed file down here. So we're ready to submit it on Sunday night. And that is everything that I have for you guys. Thank you so much for being here. If you don't have any questions about the discussion post or the assignment or the quiz, you are free to go. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you next week. If you do have any final questions, we are at the end of our session tonight, but we are not booting you out the door right yet. We are going to have a couple of minutes at the end here for you to ask those questions at your own pace. So if you're still thinking of one, go ahead and relay it. If you've got them, let us have them. Everett's asking, if we do a video format, can we include the name and student number in the opening of the video? Yes, you can, and we definitely prefer that. That's a great question.